Prove it. Wisdom is more than words. James 3:13 asks a piercing question. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. At first glance, it feels simple, but sit with it for a moment, and it will start to unsettle you. James does not ask who can explain wisdom. He asks, who can show it? This is where the tension lies. Many of us, whether in our faith, relationships, or careers, know how to present ourselves in polished ways. We can speak with confidence, list our accomplishments, and frame our stories so they shine. But James reminds us that true wisdom is not measured in presentation, it is measured in demonstration. Eventually, who you really are will bleed through. And that is either a comforting or a convicting thought. Wisdom is not a clever argument. It is a consistent life. The athlete, the cook, the neighbor. Think about a great athlete. You do not need them to tell you they are good. You see it every time they compete. Or picture a chef. Their ability is not proven by a resume, but by what comes out of the kitchen, a brilliant mind. You see it in the way they solve problems. A stunning voice? You hear it the second they sing. The same is true in faith and in business. You do not prove trust by talking about it. You prove it by showing up reliably. You do not prove love by claiming it. You prove it by serving, honoring, and lifting up others. You do not prove leadership by taking a title. You prove it by how your team feels and flourishes under your guidance. What you live will always speak louder than what you say. Godly wisdom versus worldly wisdom. Here is where James gets very specific. Deeds done in humility. The original word for humility is prautēs, which carries the sense of strength under control, a wisdom that wears gentleness. This is not the humility of shrinking back or being weak. It is the humility of someone strong enough to listen, patient enough to wait, and wise enough to know that power is safest in the hands of God. Worldly wisdom tries to climb ladders, control narratives, and win applause. Godly wisdom bends low, serves, and lets the fruit of a good life be its testimony. The two are not just different, they are opposed. And here is the sobering part. The people around you can usually tell which one you are living by. So ask yourself, are my decisions marked by the need to prove myself or by the humility of proving God's work in me? The overflow principle. Jesus said in Luke 6:45, "What you say flows from what is in your heart." Think of your heart like a spring. Whatever fills it will eventually overflow. If bitterness fills it, bitterness will leak. If pride fills it, pride will surface. If love fills it, love will spill out. You cannot hide it forever. In life and business, this principle explains more than we care to admit. Leaders can mask insecurity for a season, but eventually it leaks into culture. Parents can mask frustration, but eventually kids feel it. Professionals can mask selfishness, but eventually co-workers sense it. The overflow is the proof. The workplace test. Let's bring this closer to the ground. Picture yourself walking into a Monday meeting. How do you prove wisdom in that space? Not by dominating the conversation or flexing expertise, but by listening first, by asking better questions, by recognizing contributions, by holding the room steady when stress runs high. That is wisdom clothed in humility. Or consider a conflict at work. Worldly wisdom fights to win. Godly wisdom seeks to reconcile. Worldly wisdom protects ego. Godly wisdom protects the relationship, and people can feel the difference. In business, as in life, wisdom is not what you know. It is how you show. What to internalize. Spiritually, the call is clear. Wisdom is not an idea you master, but a life you live. Relationally, the challenge is real. Who you are will eventually come out professionally. The opportunity is massive. In a world hungry for leaders of character, the one who walks with humility will always stand out. This is what you must truly understand. God's wisdom transforms from the inside out. You cannot fake it long term, because the fruit of your life will tell the story, and the story will either spotlight you or point to Him. A challenge for today. So let me challenge you. If you claim to trust God, prove it by starting your day with a genuine confidence in Him. If you claim to love your neighbor, prove it by noticing, serving, and honoring the people right around you. If you claim to be a follower of Jesus, prove it by living in a way that reflects His heart, even when it is inconvenient, even when you mess up and need to make things right. In your workplace, prove wisdom not by speaking the loudest, but by leading with integrity, listening with empathy, and choosing humility when pride could win you quick applause. This is not about perfection. It is about proof. Closing reflection. Today, pause long enough to ask yourself, do my thoughts match what people see on the outside? Does my leadership reflect God's wisdom or my own ambition? And then pray, God, show me how to do what you have called me to do and be who you have called me to be. At the end of the day, James is right, and wisdom is not claimed. It is proven.